Gospel according to Mark, chapter 2. And again he entered into Capernaum after some days, and it was noised that he was in the house. And straightway many were gathered together, insomuch as there was no room to receive them, no, not so much as about the door. And he preached the word unto them. And they came unto him, bringing one sick of palsy, which was born of 4. So why are we hearing this child is one of 4? And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, the parents, they uncovered the roof where he was, and when they had broken it up, they let down the bed where the sick of the palsy lay. Wow, there's too many people at the door. So they went to the roof, broke it up, and put the bed through into the house. They lay down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay. That's kind of a huge production, right? When Jesus saw their faith, he said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins be forgiven thee. But there were certain of the scribes sitting there and reasoning in their hearts, Why doth this man thus speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God only? And immediately when Jesus perceived in his spirit that they so reasoned within themselves, so he didn't even hear him. He's probably like 300 feet away. There's a multitude in the crowd there. There's people screaming and yelling probably. But he heard this. His spirit heard it. His spirit heard this hatred, blasphemies. He said unto them, Why reason ye these things in your hearts? Whether it is easier to say to the sick of the palsy, or thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and take up thy bed and walk. Okay, so this is a good part, because I don't think in Matthew it was differentiated, but here, he just told the guy to get up and walk, right? The way Matthew, I think, expressed it. But this is different. This is showing that he has active aggression. It's showing the activity of Satan. It is showing the activity of Satan in the flesh, against the flesh, of the flesh. And these priests are sitting there. They don't believe that. They're like, why is he just saying you're sinners, so sin no more and you'll be okay, right? See, that's just blasphemy, right? Why are they doing that, right? But actually they are supposed to be the ones doing that. But they make it into an issue of sin versus just healing. But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on the earth to forgive sins, he said to the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, Arise and take up thy bed and go thy way into thine house. And immediately he arose, took up the bed, and went forth before them all, insomuch that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, We never saw it on this fashion. And he went forth again by the seaside, and all the multitude resorted unto him, and he taught them. And he passed by, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting at the receipt of custom, and said unto him, Follow me. And he arose and followed him. That's kind of funny. Oh, it's not. I guess that's, he's not a Levite. I guess that's his first name. Because it says he's the son of Alphaeus. So he's not like a Levite, like a son of a Levite. It must be just his first name. But I don't know. But we already read the 12 names of the apostles, and I don't remember him. But that doesn't mean too much. And it came to pass that as Jesus sat at meat in his house, many publicans and sinners sat also together with Jesus and his disciples. For there were many, and they followed him. And when whose house are they at this time? Because it says, sat at meat in his house. So, okay, I'm just going to keep reading, but are they talking about Jesus' house? No, they can't be, but... Okay, that's something to try to figure out later. Whose house is that? Are they talking about? And it came to pass as Jesus sat at meat in his house. Many publicans and sinners sat also together with Jesus and his disciples, for there were many, and they followed him. And when the scribes and Pharisees saw him eat with the publicans and sinners, they said unto his disciples, How is it that he eateth and drinketh with publicans and sinners? When Jesus heard it, he saith unto them, They that are whole have no need of the physician, but they that are sick, I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. Boom! And the disciples of John and of the Pharisees used to fast. And they come and say unto him, Why do the disciples of John and the Pharisees fast, but the disciples fast not? Oh my gosh, everything just fell all at once. The camera, the book. This is a really important question. Why? They're asking Jesus, like, hey, the people that used to follow John the Baptist used to fast, and other of your disciples used to fast. What's going on? That's a really good question, right? Let's find out. And Jesus said unto them, Can the children of the bride chamber fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. So he's saying, well, he's on earth. Nobody can fast. But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and they shall fast in those days. That's a good answer, huh? No man also, because to me and everybody else who taught me, in the Jews, that is a valid question. That is one question that they could have gotten away with asking Jesus without all these other murderous questions in their heart. That would have been fine, in my opinion. No problem with that question. It's not hateful. It's educating, that question. And it's probably the only question that's okay. And the only thing they're thinking about, really, that's okay. That is valid. It's a valid question. The only one. In fact, it's so valid. This should have been like the mainest question above all, and then they should have just left him alone. They should have asked this first and listened to him. But he was already in there preaching every day, so they knew his content. No man also seweth a piece of new cloth on an old garment, else the new piece that filled it take away from the old, and the rent is made worse. And no man putteth new wine in old bottles, else the new wine doth burst the bottle, and the wine is spilled, and the bottles will be marred, but new wine must be put into new bottles. I think those exact two are also in Matthew, because I read that before. In fact, That thing about the wineskin almost seems like it's 3 times. It's not just in the New Testament. It almost seems like, but it might not. It might be just an allegory for New Testament, the new wine. But it's definitely in Matthew. And it came to pass that he went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day. Oh, this was in Matthew. And his disciples began, and as they went to pluck the ears of corn, and as they went to pluck the ears of corn, and the Pharisees said unto him, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful? And he said unto them, Have ye never read what David did when he had need and was in hunger, he and they that were with him, how he went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and did eat the shewbread which is not lawful to eat, but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him? And he said unto them, The Sabbath was made for a man, and not man for the Sabbath. Boom! Therefore the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. He's telling him, like, I'm the boss of the Sabbath because I'm God. He's not telling him like that, though, but that's the truth. And he's like, yeah, so don't tell me what to do on the Sabbath. But anyway, that first one is a valid concern. That why did they stop fasting? The people following you. That is totally valid. And then the second concern that we've already heard in Matthew, that is not quite a valid concern, but the first one is that if they just sat and stuck with that line of thinking, it may not have gone totally down the gutter, but that wasn't brought up first anyway. It wasn't their first concern, and it really should have been the eating thing. It should have been like high up on their list, not about his behavior. They should have been like, oh, that's ancillary, right? He's saving people. Like, it doesn't say not to heal anybody, right? He's not going around going, I'm God, be healed, he's not doing that. They should have just left that alone, right? And then got on to him about the laws, but they're not following them right anyway, so that's why it didn't happen. But if they were following the law right, the first thing they would talk about would be food. They'd be like, none of you, and I don't mean the eating on Sabbath, because everybody eats on Sabbath. If you don't have food, you're going to go get some food to eat. That isn't even the same thing. But this thing about why aren't they fasting, that if they were doing their laws, that does seem like a totally legitimate concern. And if it had started off like that, it would have went better. But you can see that, they're just putting it into that boat of like, the Pharisees sitting out going, why is he being blasphemous saying he's healing this guy sins? Why is he doing that? So it's like these other people, they're all doing that in their heart every time they see him. They're like, why are they not fasting anymore? But that is a good question. That is valid. The rest of it is not.